So am I talking directly into the laptop? Not this.
Voy a hablar directamente a la laptop.
Good evening, everyone.
Buenas
Welcome
tardes a
to
todos,
the
bienvenidos
19th, 2025
el 2025
West Contra Costa Unified
al
School
Distrito
District.
Escolar
We are at 5
Unificado.
o'clock. We do
Estamos a
not
las
have a
5.
quorum yet. So I will check back in 5 minutes. So the
So no-
next check-in will be at 5:05 to see if we have quorum and we can start the meeting. Thank you. Welcome to the November 19th, 2025 meeting of the West Contra Costa Unified School District School Board, calling the meeting to order at 5:05 p.m. To access translation in Zoom, please click on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen. And if you are here live with us in person, you can pick up a headset for translation in the back corner of the auditorium. The board is about to go into closed session, but before we do, we're here to listen to public comment on closed session items. Individuals wishing to speak on closed session items listed. If you're here in the auditorium and you haven't done so already, please submit a WCC USD public comment card, which you can find on the entryway table, or if you are participating via Zoom, individuals will need to raise their hand in the Zoom app. If you're accessing the meeting by phone, press *9. The time allotted to each speaker is 2 minutes and the total time allotted is 1 hour. Speaking time shall not be transferred from one person to another. There is also no substitution of speakers. We alternate between a Zoom comment and an in-person comment. The public comment period is a safe space where diverse viewpoints may be expressed civilly without interruption or intimidation. Please listen attentively to each speaker's comment and respect their time as if it were your own. Be open to a different point of view if one is offered. Due to the Brown Act, board members cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda and do not usually respond to items presented in public comment. The items listed on the closed session agenda tonight are conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, 2 cases, Brandon William Lawson versus West Contra Costa Unified School District, case number C25-02043, Massey versus West Contra Costa Unified School District, Superior Court of California, Contra Costa County, case number C22-01717. 2, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation. 1 potential case, student discipline, stipulated expulsion, 1 case, 252603. Liability claims, small claims, RSC 25-02282 and RSC 25-02283. Public employee performance evaluation and conference with labor negotiators. Is there any public comment on these items?
We have 1 public comment. iPhone 18, please unmute yourself.
And if we could get a counter up for 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry, this is not about one of those items. Should I wait until we get to a different part of the agenda?
Do you have comment on closed session items that were just announced?
No, and I'm
Okay.
sorry,
Then
and
you can wait until the public comment period and open.
yes, sorry.
No problem, thank you. Okay, seeing no public comment, we are being recessed to closed session. We will be back at 6:30. Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the open session of the regularly scheduled November 19th meeting of the West Contra Costa Unified School District. The board is returning from closed session and I'm calling open session to order at 7:36 p.m. To access translation in Zoom, please click on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen. And if you're here in the auditorium, you can pick up a headset in the back corner. In a few minutes, we're going to begin public comment. Members of the public are invited to speak to the board on any matter that is not otherwise on the agenda, but is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the West Contra Costa Unified School District. Please prepare now for public comment. If you're here in the auditorium and you'd like to make public comment, please fill out and submit a WCC USD public comment card. You can find them on the table in the entryway. And if you're participating via Zoom, please raise your hand in the Zoom app prior to the beginning of the item on the agenda. If you are participating by phone, press *9. After your comment card has been turned in, the cards are placed in the order received, and we call on speakers one at a time, alternating between a public comment here in Dijon and one on Zoom. Public comment generally lasts for 1 hour. The time allotted to each speaker is 2 minutes. And in the meantime, we are moving on to the rest of our opening procedures. B2, Pledge of Allegiance. If you're willing or able, please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. B3, Land, Labor, and Body Acknowledgement. Land acknowledgement. We recognize that we are presently on the lands of the Chichinyo, Mawika, Karkin, Ohlone peoples and acknowledge them as the first inhabitants of the land we currently occupy. Labor and body recognition acknowledgement. I acknowledge that the burden of environmental exploitation and systemic injustice falls upon the labor of Black and brown bodies in the building of this country and its institutions. I remember that Black and brown people were born and died working this land against their will for generations. I also acknowledge the continued contribution of the labor of survivors over the centuries to today, of all immigrant labor, including voluntary, involuntary, trafficked, forced, and undocumented peoples in the building of what we refer to as the United States. B4, West Contra Costa Unified School District Board Anti-Racism Statement. The West Contra Costa School District Board of Education is committed to the work of anti-racism, the conscious and active effort to identify, challenge, and correct racial inequities in the systems and institutions within our schools and community. Racism, explicit or implicit, stands in direct conflict to the fundamental principles of WCC USD education. To carry WCC USD education into the future, we recognize that we must continually renew and reflect on the roots of racism and develop new ideas to meet the times. Unjust ideas and policies and the racial inequity they produce have shaped us, our schools, and our society. We strive to uncover unconscious biases and practice anti-racism as individuals and as board members. We challenge ourselves to persist through the discomfort necessary for growth and learning, to deepen our listening and our examination of racism and oppression, and to develop a strong understanding of how our personal experiences and feelings fit into a larger picture of continual oppression. Each member of our school board, individually and collectively, is responsible for creating and nurturing an anti-racist learning environment where each student, staff, and community partner is a respected and valued member of the WCC USD community. We're uniquely positioned, and it's our responsibility to identify and dismantle racist ideas and inequitable policies in ourselves and across the district. Therefore, we commit to supporting anti-racist policies, programs, and practices for our children's education and well-being while building strong and inclusive school communities. We commit to holding each board member accountable towards these goals and moving the work of anti-racism forward. We also commit to holding West Contra Costa Unified School District staff, students, and community to living these standards of anti-racism in our schools. B5, roll call. Superintendent Cotton, would you please take roll?
Yes. Student trustee Brooke Miles,
Good evening, present.
student trustee Sasha Han,
Good evening, present.
trustee Smith Folds is absent. Trustee Hernandez,
Good evening, present.
trustee Gonzalez Hoy,
Good evening, present.
clerk Iñana. Buenas tardes a todos presentes. And board president Reckler.
Good evening, I'm here. Moving now to B6, report ratification of closed session. Superintendent Cotton, is there anything to report out of closed session this evening?
Yes. Regarding agenda item A21, Massey versus WCCUSD, the board in closed session approved a settlement agreement with the plaintiff for a payment of $500,000 paid by the district's insurer and the district intending to perform work to increase to increase the stability on district property below the plaintiff's house. The members voted as follows: 4 yeses, 1 absent. In closed session, the board took action to approve the request for small claim number RSC 25-02282 through Keenan Settlement Authority claim number 655120. The vote was as follows: 4 yeses, 1 absent. In closed session, the board took action to approve the request for small claim number RSC 25-02283 through Keenan Settlement Authority claim number 655120. The vote was as follows: 3 yeses, 2 absent. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving now to B7, WCCUSD public comment. Members of the public are invited to speak to the board on any matter that is not otherwise on the agenda, but is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the West Contra Costa Unified School District. Public comment will last approximately 1 hour. The time allotted to each speaker is 2 minutes. Should additional speakers remain at the conclusion of 1 hour, public comment may be extended. The time allotted per speaker beyond the first hour is generally 1 minute. Individuals wishing to speak, please submit a WCCUSD public comment card, or if participating via Zoom, individuals will need to raise their hand in the Zoom app prior to the beginning of this item on the agenda. If you're calling in by phone, press *9. Speaking time shall not be transferred from one person to another, and there is no substitution of speakers. Speakers can also make public comment again for each discussion and action item on the agenda after staff presentations. The public will have 10 minutes per item and 1 minute per speaker. The same protocols recited above apply. The public comment period is a safe space where diverse viewpoints may be expressed civilly without interruption or intimidation. Please listen attentively to each speaker's comment and respect their time at the podium as if it were your own. Be open to a different point of view if one is offered. Due to the Brown Act, board members cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda and do not usually respond to items presented in public comment. Is there any public comment this evening?
Yes, our first public comment is Liz Deans.
Good evening to the board. Thank you for making this time. I am a parent of a 4th grader at Mira Vista, just for context. And I wanted to bring to your attention the removal of the Peacemakers group from our campus recently. Well, not that recently, it's been a month, and we'd really, really like them back. We need them back. I'm not familiar with the complaint in detail that was being investigated and had them removed, but I can say that their value to the Mira Vista community far outweighs any misstep that they may have taken, which I understand has already been remedied. And they want nothing more than to come back to the campus to support the kids, the teachers, the parents, and the whole Mira Vista community. On a personal level, they've incredibly helped my 4th grader, who in 3rd grade started to have some real problems with his behavior on campus. And the empathetic interventions that they could bring to his situations helped us get to solutions that we otherwise wouldn't have got to. Their presence on campus is absolutely needed for the diverse range of kids we have at Mira Vista. And I wanted to bring this to the attention of the board to just hopefully smooth the process of getting that issue resolved, getting that investigation concluded, and having these guys come back. I see how stretched the teachers are on our campus, and with particularly challenging personalities in the class, they need the support of the Peacemakers to do their work there. They embody the kindness, the respect, the empathy that we are trying to get embodied in our kids and across all campuses. So with that, I think I've got my time. So thank you very much.
President Reckler. I was wondering if we could pause until the audio was fixed, but literally it just got fixed, so ignore my comment. Thank you.
If it happens again, just interrupt. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Kelly Carey. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening, Board Trustees, Superintendent Cotton, Cabinet members, and community. My name is Kelly Carey. I taught in WCC USD for 16 years, and although I now live in Pennsylvania, I continue to follow this district closely because of what happens here matters to families, to educators, and especially to students. Tonight, you will be hearing special education teachers, families, and advocates speak about the instability, mismanagement, and harmful decisions that have directly impacted our most vulnerable students. I want to speak to another area where the district's choices are creating instability and harming communities, the treatment of our international educators. Two of my former colleagues at Purys, both dedicated, beloved teachers, traveled to the Philippines, one in 2024 and one just this past summer. For one of them, it was the first time her relatives would ever meet her children. But when they tried to return home, to their jobs, to the community they served, they were told they could not come back. This is devastating, and it should never happen in this district. International educators uproot their lives to fill vacancies that would otherwise leave students without consistent qualified instructors. They bring stability to classrooms in a district that has struggled year after year with high turnover vacancies and disrupted learning. Yet the district has failed to provide the most basic protections needed for them to safely travel, reconnect with family, and return to the jobs they love. That is why Article 54, International Educators, is essential. These are fundamental commitments to the very people helping to keep classrooms open. Just like in special education, students pay the price when the district neglects its responsibilities. Vacancies grow, services are disrupted, communities suffer, and yes, students are watching. I urge you urgently and clear, approve Article 54 as written, protect international educators, protect their families, protect the stability of our students that our students deserve. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Mariah Fowler.
Good evening to the board and everyone in attendance. I'm a fourth grade teacher at Mira Vista, and I'm here to talk about the Peacemakers. I've watched the kids grow and become leaders and become confident in themselves, interacting with little kids in lower grades, just having that foundation because of the Peacemakers. They are excited. They're excited to learn. They are shining. And the kids from last year, I've heard stories and they're in my classroom today, and they are completely different kids. And I would hate to see all the work that they're putting into themselves to have them go back. The kids are excited. They do the work that they need to do. They learn tools to have help with their conflicts with big emotions, learning about how to deal with things in the classroom, outside the classroom. They are able to express themselves, and they're overall leaders in our community. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Priscilla. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Priscilla Lau, and I'm a parent and a speech language pathologist at Harding. I'd like to start with some good news. This year's district mismanagement of special education has been truly impressive. Thanks to a long list of avoidable decisions, the district is on track to lose at minimum a 1.2 SLP FTE next year. A bold strategy considering students still need services, but at least the district will save. Oh, wait, that's not right. It's going to cost the district, actually. It's going to cost the district experienced and dedicated professionals who know our students and school communities. It will cost the district in compensatory services when vacancies go unfilled. And it will quite literally cost the district in more dollars as they continue to staff 2 contractors to take the place of 1 SLP in order to provide virtual speech therapy. These questionable decisions have impacted our students the most. Students have endured revolving door service providers, missed services, and SLPs who are stretched thin to the breaking point. But hey, we can keep pretending this is all due to a mysterious national shortage rather than the district's own actions, like ignoring potential new hires and then scrambling to hire virtual contractors. The reality is simple. The instability students are experiencing is the direct result of mismanagement, and unless the district changes course, students will keep bearing the consequences of leadership choices that prioritize everything except the children they serve. I urge the district to correct their course and reprioritize. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Cheryl Teasley.
Well, good morning and good afternoon to the board. I am a grandparent and a great-grandparent of children at Mira Vista. And I have seen the changes that has been made with the peacemakers that were on campus. With them gone, I also volunteer and I help out with them sometimes, and I help out in the classrooms every single day. I need them back because the children don't have anyone to go to explain what's going on with them. The kids come to them when they have issues. They do solve the conflicts. They need to be back on campus. And the sooner you can get them back, the better our children will be on the campus. I really hope that you can solve the issue and get them back because the kids need them, the teachers need them, I need them, and all the parents that that send their kids to that school, they need them. So I need you to bring them back. We do have issues, but they can solve them with the help of the parents, the staff, the students. And I've had peacemakers my grandkids were peacemakers, and they really did solve a lot of conflicts at the school. They need them back. So let's bring them back. Thank you.
Next public comment is Maisha Harris Gash. Please unmute yourself.
Good evening, everybody, and happy 2 days until Thanksgiving break. So, once again, district leadership, what are you doing about these microaggressions, these actions of bias and discrimination that are taking place within this district? Where is the anti-racism training? Hopefully, it is not going to take someone getting sick and tired of being sick and tired for you to take intentional, and I mean intentional action in this area. My next thing is about Kennedy's construction tech program and our teacher, Mr. Henderson. So, are you aware that Mr. Henderson has 2 pieces of new equipment still in the boxes? That each of these items weigh about 2,000 pounds. It's some type of power tool. The one our students are currently using was made in the 1960s. Now, some of y'all know I graduated from Kennedy in the late 80s. So that means when I was at Kennedy, this piece of equipment was still at Kennedy. But yet, in Mr. Henderson's room right now are 2 of the updated versions of this piece of equipment that have not been put in, and emails have been sent going back 2 years to put this in. This is not a one-person job because these things are about 2,000 pounds. So I don't know who's supposed to do it, but our kids deserve to have what they deserve to have. So then it also had me thinking, were these purchased with that money that, remember a couple of years ago, our member of the U.S. House of Representatives came to Kennedy High School, had the big paper check. I was there. I got pictures with the check. I got pictures with the person from the House of Representatives. Was that money used to buy these 2 pieces of equipment? I don't know. But what I do know is that our kids do not deserve to be treated like they're second-class citizens. That's not a priority. So please, I implore you, district leadership, to figure this out and make it happen as soon as possible, because our kids deserve to have the best that's waiting for them in boxes in Mr. Henderson's classroom. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Eugene Teasley.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here because the peacemakers. So the peacemakers were a good like people. They were good people and we need them back because one person called me a nigga at school and then I felt really bad. So we need them back. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Jean Kinster. Please unmute yourself.
Good morning, board. I'm Jean Kincher, teacher at Verde. Many schools here are community schools. Parents, teachers, staff, and students, we are one, and we can't wait for the services our students need. I find it interesting that the district does not seem to comment on any SPED services when talking about negotiation updates with UTR. Our students have been receiving online speech services for 3 years now. 2 of these years, our students have only received online services, no in-person speech therapists at all. Many of my students have received speech services for articulation with a focus on how they say words and sounds. When they have online speech services, there are 3 or 4 students in a room, all looking at the same Chromebook screen. They are to be able to see the mouths and shapes and hear the sounds that the speech teacher is focusing on. I don't know how that happens with that tiny little screen of 3 to 4 kids. The speech teacher is also supposed to be able to see the students' mouths and hear the way they are saying sounds. How can this happen in a room with 3 to 4 students all using the same little tiny Chromebook? One Chromebook for this session. And this is what my TK and kindergarten students have had to go through for 2 years. Sure, this allows the district to check off a box and say that they're providing services, but does this really help make the gains and progress in their speech needs? I don't think so. I saw a student and his brother regress during these 2 years. The parents agreed that the boys regressed and did not benefit from these services. There were no progress reports. There were no new assessments of children I referred. It's crazy. Parents, teachers, and teacher staff and students, we are one and we can't wait. We need the services that our students need and we need them to be stable.
Our next public comment is Riley Turner.
Okay, good evening, anybody. I am Riley Turner and I am an 8th grader and I am one of the grandchildren from Cheryl Teasley. I'm here to ask that Mira Vista receive the Peacemakers program back. They have made a huge impact when they was around teaching kids valuable conflict resolution skills, empowering students to master emotions, build strong connections, and overcome life challenges. I have spent 8 years at Mira Vista, and I witnessed students get expelled or suspended due to a lack of support. As students, we need help mastering our emotions and resolving conflict. Overall, our peacemakers have created a safe atmosphere for the kids by learning how to deal with conflicts. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Andrea Livinghouse. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Andrea Livinghouse. I'm a speech language pathologist with the United Teachers of Richmond. Firstly, I want to say thank you to trustees Gonzalez Oy and Jonna Hernandez for attending UTR statutory impasse hearing yesterday. I want to speak on the mismanagement of special education in West Contra Costa and their efforts to normalize privatized virtual speech therapy. The district's recent decisions to ignore district-employed SLP applicants, cut our FTE positions, and hire contractors instead speaks volumes about their true priorities. They have made it clear that they prioritize SLP and paraprofessional contractors whose companies are tied to private equity firms that supported Trump's cuts to the Department of Education at the expense of our students. It feels that these efforts are purposefully done to union bust the speech and language department of UTR. The district claims they're broke and yet overspends on contractors. They lie through their teeth to divert taxpayer money away from schools at the detriment of students and educators. We're at a crossroads. UTR is prepared to declare and maintain a strike, forming picket lines across our 50+ schools in the district alongside our Teamsters and SSA union siblings. If the district recklessly decides to keep schools open, students will be there with minimal supervision. Our district values students and safety so little that they're willing to put our students in these vulnerable, minimally supervised situations before they agree to a reasonable contract that enables us to have a stable livelihood and protects the international educators the district recruits for hard-to-fill special education and dual immersion positions. Please do the right thing and support safe, fully staffed schools. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Rakia Atkinson. Rakia Atkinson. Next public comment is Rodney Brown. Please unmute yourself.
You hear me?
Yes.
I'd like to say good evening, boys. This is Rodney Brown, a community advocate here in the city of Richmond, California. If we can take a brief moment to acknowledge a longtime Laney football coach, John Bean, in his moment of silence, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm here to speak about the Peacemakers and the great value that they bring to our school district. I'm a former employee of the Peacemakers, and I can say when I worked with Brother Hank, it was great. It was a great joy. Anyone who sees the various works that they do can duly appreciate their reasoning for being on campus. To hear that young man say that he was called the N-word really brought a large vibration through my body, especially with the climate that we're in now in society. We send our children to school to learn. We send our children to be social. We don't send our children to be verbally abused. Sadly, with these individuals are using this N-word very loosely nowadays, it's become for some folks a badge of honor. For me as an elder statesman, hearing that word at my age of 59 years of age, it really, really upsets me. No matter what your skin color is, no matter what your race is, I think the word shouldn't be used, period, especially on the school campus. I ask that you all, the board, Ms. Cotton, to reinstate these individuals back on campus, to bring the climate back to civility, to bring love, joy, and peace, as the name Peacemakers is what it's truly about. The Bible speaks of the peacemakers inheriting the earth. I ask that you all do the right thing and resubmit them as once. God bless you all. Good night. Shalom.
Our next public comment is Mauricio.
Good evening. My name is Mauricio. I'm an 8th grader from Mira Vista, and I'm here to speak about the Peacemakers and why they should be allowed back to Mira Vista. Well, because they help me in several different ways. They help me in school. They help me in class to get on point. They help me and my friends to get my work done and to stay in class. They helped my friends with their grades, and everybody at Mira Vista would like to have the Peacemakers back because they impacted everyone at Mira Vista. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Sarah Parks. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Sarah Parks, and I am an extensive support needs teacher at Terra Hills Elementary. I'm also a voter, a taxpayer, and a parent in West Contra Costa. I understand that there are limits to what the district can financially do right now. However, the most obvious cuts are the ones that directly affect students such as mine, who are some of the most disabled in the district. For example, my students, they are profoundly disabled. They all have diapers. My classroom requires nitrile gloves. When I first started with the district 10 years ago, we could simply go to pupil services and take what we needed. Then there was a Google form that allowed us 5, and we would have to wait approximately 10 days to have it shipped to us from the warehouse. And now we've been reduced to 3. So let's do some math. We're at a school board meeting. There are 100 gloves in a box, so that's 300 gloves. 300 divided by 2 is 150. 150 divided by 9, because I have 9 full-time students right now, is 16. So that is 16 pairs of gloves per student. 16 changes, minimum 2 times per day. That's 8 days of gloves per student. We also have 2 students who are G-tube fed 1 to 2 times per day, depending on their medical orders. So this comes out of those 16 pairs. This math is also assuming that nobody needs more than 2 changes, that nobody is bleeding per our Keenan training universal precautions, nobody throws up, etc. Luckily, I am fairly well known in the local mom groups, so they like to donate to me to make up the difference. And also, thank you, Kaiser. Every time I'm left alone in an exam room, I literally will clean the place out. That is what I am reduced to. If I relied entirely on the district, I would not have enough gloves to change my students. The kids deserve better than this. Stop the spending on expensive contracts that do not support students. That $90 million going to there could be used to buy way more than 300 gloves at a time. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Corey Jeffries.
Good evening, and thank you for your time. I was originally going to get into my feelings about our exodus from Mira Vista. I'm a site coordinator there, but it's really not about my feelings. It's about these parents and these teachers and the kids that go to this school. And I would recommend for those of you who haven't been to that school to come visit sometime. You'll see it's a United Nations of culture there at this school. And the kids that we serve there are kids, and kids say things. Sometimes they're hurtful, but they're never with malice. We don't have any racial issues there. And so the reason why I'm here right now is to just acknowledge the fact that when kids have problems, one of the main things that we do is we help them learn how to solve their own problems. We use healing circles. We contact their parents. We do everything, all the checks and balances that it takes to keep these kids headed in the right direction. So without knowing all the circumstances, I'm not sure how many of you know all the extenuating circumstances, but I can rest assured to you that our intentions are always with the kids first. The kids first. We support the teachers, we contact the parents, but the kids are the only reason why we're there. It's not always about money. I'm retired, but I love kids. So I just again recommend that you come up there and visit and see what the atmosphere is like up there. Kids will graduate, new kids will come in. There will be ebbs and flow with problems and things like that. But you have to have some support there outside of the teachers and the administrative staff. Thank you for your time.
Our next public comment is Angela Silver Lima. Please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, board. My name is Angela Silver Lima. I am a parent of 2 students in our district, and I am the chair of the CAC. I'm calling in tonight to ask you to please come to the CAC meetings and hear some of the stories of special education families in our district. The meeting is open to all board members, all staff members, all members of the community. We have a lot of vacancies in SPED right now. Some of our classes are being taught via Zoom, which requires the district to provide 2 staff members, one on Zoom and one in the room with the student. This is not meaningful to our students. We also have SLP vacancies. And also, I would like to speak to the district not acknowledging the demands of UTR in their public statements. The community deserves to know where the district stands on the SPED issues in the contract negotiations. There has been a huge silence there, and all of your messaging focuses on the pay increase, but our community would like to know, where does the district stand in terms of the SPED demands in the UTR negotiations, such as caseloads, the way teachers are treated, the vacancies, double paying staff members. Those issues have not been stated from the district side. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Grady Carson.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Grady Carson, a 4th grade teacher at Mira Vista Elementary School. I'm here to put a plug in to get the Peacemakers reinstated to our school, hoping to support the board in making an efficient decision to get them reinstated. The Peacemakers are allies to our most at-risk kids and our most vulnerable students. They support the students on the ground when they're having conflicts in the moment. They teach them skills to avoid those conflicts and how to nurture relationships so they don't have those conflicts. They also teach them life skills for when they are on their own outside of school. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with them talking about what's going to happen to this kid when he graduates high school. How are we supporting him to do that and live in that world? Because this world's a little different. One way they support the students in this is through the Peacemakers Leadership Program, and students can become peacemakers and be on the ground supporting their fellow students in resolving conflicts. And so here again, you are giving our most at-risk students opportunities to be leaders. Those kids don't get those opportunities very often, and they're not getting them right now because they were in training and now they're not. Another important strategy is parent communication. They are regular communicators with parents in my classroom for the kids who are struggling the most. We all know how valuable that is. Lastly, I miss having them in my classroom. They sit at our table groups. They work with the students. They help them with their academics. They help them with cooperative work. They care about these kids like you can't even believe. And it really is a loss to Mira Vista not to have them. I urge you to do your best to resolve this issue quickly, and please get them back to us. We miss them and we need them. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Taylor Crane Haynes. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Miss Taylor. I'm a kindergarten teacher here at Mira Vista. I'm going to speak on behalf of the Peacemakers. I just want to say that we do need them. I've had the pleasure of working with them for the past 4 years, and man, have they made a tremendous difference with some of the students that they were working with in my class. But just not even my class, just around the school, you notice a difference in the students. You notice a difference in behavior. They have become a safe space for students. They work with the students, again, we have students that are training to be peacemakers, and I would hate to see that end I really do believe that we need the peacemakers at our school because they really do make a difference. Thank you.
Next public comment is Marie Anya.
I come with big concerns about the safety of students in the sped buses. Cameras and the GPS app needed to be added immediately to those vehicles. If you knew the stories that I've been told and have witnessed, it would shock you. We must put the safety of students first. We're talking about special needs students with varying abilities. Us parents are trusting the district to have proper and updated safety measures in place. The transportation handbook needs to have come back out yesterday. Too many mistakes are happening. Now, on to my hot topic. You know what? The Williams Quarterly Report was presented on October 22nd. It needs to be relooked at. It's very frustrating that it said the Williams complaints were resolved. Y'all know it wasn't resolved. I still got 4 things to work on. Come on. This is my son here. Ignore him. This is a clear example of how the Stage facility doesn't receive proper resources from the facilities department. Our legit concerns are not taken seriously and then covered up and buried. The report is incorrectly telling the CCCOE that everything was resolved in this district. I still have concerns about recess equipment, shade, sinks, and the playground. It's downright wrong how this district justifies its reasons for not sending resources. The baloney needs to stop now. I saw the potential possibilities at the Lake School tour. Our Temp campus needs some TLC. I'll again follow up with leadership. I hardly get responses back. People might not like the questions that I'm asking, but I do deserve a response in a timely manner. Y'all have been elected, nominated, and appointed into these positions. Part of your job is to give customer service, even to the parents you don't like. This is my 7th meeting that my kids and I have attended.
Our next public comment is Sarah Talcott. Please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a school psychologist at Lincoln Elementary in Richmond, an elementary school with some of the highest needs across the district. This is my 4th year at Lincoln and working in the district. I have witnessed firsthand the drastic decline of our special education services and programs in the district in those 3 short years. The first year, when I and my IEP team petitioned for classroom aids for students with high needs who were not able to effectively engage with classroom content and participate in class instruction without the support of a trusted adult, program specialists were able to use their experience and discretion as special education educators to determine for themselves as educators which students warranted these services. That year, I secured aids for at least 3 students who desperately needed them. As a result, our classes were able to function more smoothly, and our students began to grow and thrive with the support and meet their academic goals for the first time. I have been horrified to hear this year from program specialists who tell me that now, even after we fill out a 30-page plus application, compiling many sources of data over weeks to justify the need for an aid, these applications for classroom support aids are now being stalled by business services, and that these applications have to go across 10 desks before being approved. My own program specialist told me that at the beginning of the year, he submitted 5 applications for aids, but only 1 of those applications had been approved. This is incredibly frustrating and disheartening for our students, families, and teachers who so desperately need the support. When we are told that we are about equity and inclusion, this is a complete contradiction of the statement. How can students with the highest needs be expected to function and fit into our classrooms without these extra supports? Put the decision-making in the hands of our educators and special education support staff. We can't wait.
Our next public comment is Amber English.
Hello, good evening. I am here to speak on behalf of Peacemakers. I have a 13-year-old eighth grader at Mira Vista. He's been there since kindergarten. I also have a third grader who was just starting off in her training for Peacemakers. Very excited and super disappointed that that had to end without explanation. But for the most part, Peacemakers was an advocate for me and my son. During his third grade year, he was diagnosed with a couple of learning disabilities and he was given an IEP. And that was a new territory for me. I was feeling a little defeated, and Peacemakers gave myself and my son a voice. They were sitting in meetings with us, making sure my son's educational needs were being met. On top of that, any issues that my son had behavioral wise or just needing somebody to talk to, Peacemakers has always been that for my children. They have been a very positive, they've been a very positive addition to the environment that Mira Vista already has. I feel like it's a disservice to remove them and not allow the kids to continue to grow, to learn the de-escalation skills, the open-minded thinking. Everything that they represent has been positive, and I hope you guys do your due diligence in learning about what they actually do for our children. Come up there and actually experience it. But our kids need them back, and I hope you guys make the right decision. Thank you.
Our next public comment is Francisco Ortiz.
Good evening, board members, superintendent, and community. I want to begin tonight with sincere appreciation. Thank you to the 3 trustees who attended yesterday's statutory impasse hearings. Your presence showed a real commitment to understanding the depth of our staffing crisis. And as you heard and saw, UTR has provided the district with a clear long-term roadmap to stabilize our schools and rebuild the educator workforce our students deserve. We look forward to the panel's recommendations on November 28th, and we urge the district to swiftly and responsibly, or to act swiftly and responsibly when they're released. I also want to thank the families, students, and community partners who joined us at last night's town hall. Your love, advocacy, and solidarity reflect the community our students deserve. We look forward to seeing even more families tomorrow in Kensington. Tonight, I'm here to share the will of the United Teachers of Richmond membership. Our educators have voted overwhelmingly and unanimously a vote of no confidence in the leadership of Special Education Department. This vote is not personal. It is a professional accountability for a pattern of harm that has affected students with disabilities, the educators who serve them, and the legal and ethical obligations the district holds. Tonight, we also share an updated finding that shows WCCUSD has doubled its spending on private special education contractors, over $14 million in this year alone, including firms with direct ties to the Trump-aligned national movements to dismantle the Department of Education and undermine special education protections. These are public dollars leaving classrooms instead of strengthening our own workforce and supporting our in-house educators. Educators have done our part. We've identified the harm. We've offered solutions. We've brought forward evidence, testimony, and clear vision for rebuilding stability. Now we call on the board to take action to realign leadership with the values of transparency, legality, and student-centered service, and to ensure that public dollars support.
Our next public comment is Sierra Ackerman.
Hi,
It's actually Clara. I am a speech therapist who works with preschoolers in this district. I think that some of my colleagues have really well covered the situations at places like Verde and Perry's where staff members, students are simply not receiving speech therapy or only receiving speech therapy with virtual contractors. This kind of thing is persistent. The really poor working conditions for our speech therapists and, you know, simply losing forms is leading to a situation where students are simply not receiving services or are receiving completely inappropriate services. Likewise, the dismantling of the full inclusion for TK has resulted in many kids going to TK. Kids who were originally intended to be in full inclusion, which means they're in a gen ed classroom, they're with their gen ed peers, and they're on a graduation track. Those students were placed into RSP, which means they're pulled out 2 or 3 times a week, rather than having in the class support to help them with their socialization and, you know, managing any behavioral needs. This is, you know, completely inappropriate and is leading to kids being placed in special education who might have been successful in gen ed if given the correct support. It's also taking people a lot of time and energy holding IEP meetings to reassign children to other classrooms instead of working with these children to, you know, help them in the best way possible. And yes, about what is the district's response on special education? Nothing. They've said nothing to us about our special education demands, but allegedly something was slipped into the binder at fact finding, which said that all of our demands, the increased aids for classes, the reduced caseloads for speech therapists, and the reduced caseloads for ESN and MMSN teachers, all of that had been rejected. And we are being left with apparently nothing. And our children are supposed to continue to receive no services or limited services. Please listen. This is a desperate situation for these children and their families. Thank you.
Next public comment is Hank Roberts.
Good evening, Hank Roberts, CEO of Peacemakers Incorporated. I believe what you've witnessed tonight is an amazing array and actually a diverse group of people at Mira Vista that support Peacemakers. And Peacemakers is really excited to be at a school like Mira Vista because you have all this diversity. You have all the different types of races, colors, ethnicities. And I'd imagine you would probably say, wow, that school has a lot of problems. But you'd be amazed if you came to Mira Vista and saw all this diversity and saw how these children play together, dance together, sing together, share language together. And this might shock you when I say this, but last year Mira Vista only had 1 suspension and the population is over 500 students. And so despite these differences that obviously would be a problem, these students at Mira Vista, they feel safe, secure, and they feel connected. And many of them are also inspired to go to school every day. Why do I say that? As a result of last year, when you look at the percentage of attendance, Mira Vista ranked among the highest schools with percentage increase over the prior year, which says something is working right because these kids want to go to school. And I think that from the evidence you've seen tonight, obviously, Mira Vista have found out something. They've learned how to collaborate the key components of the school, which is the parents, the teachers, and the students, because each of those key folks are heard at Mira Vista. But as you know, when you have something that's working so well, unfortunately, when one member is absent, that hurts everybody. There's no unity. And I stand here to say that one member that's missing from that collaborative at Mira Vista is Peacemakers. And so tonight, we're asking you, the school board, to support us, to get us back into that school so we can continue to create that unity.
Our next public comment is Helen Kane.
Good
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our newly elected school board trustees. I'm here tonight to speak about some of the challenges in the special education department. Though we've been talking about special education, it actually affects every student. At a school where we have had successful full inclusion programs and multiple special education programs, where many different types of students with different diagnoses have been successfully mainstreamed, and some even exited from their special education programs. I think I speak from personal experience about the type of conditions that are necessary for mainstreaming and full inclusion to be successful. In order for that to happen, students and teachers need support. You cannot move students who need a great deal of classroom support, especially when they're in preschool, TK, kindergarten, and put them into RSP programs. RSP teachers are tied to their schedule. If a student elopes from their classroom and goes out to the playground, there just isn't enough bodies on campus for RSP teachers to leave the small group that they're working with, because they're trying to help kids with dyslexia learn how to read, as well as other challenges. They can't leave those groups and then run after a child who's eloped from class. So the situation has just been incredibly unfair for everyone involved, for the special education students, the general education students, and all the staff. We need to consider FAPE, free access to public education, for every student, and that sometimes we make decisions that actually are not FAPE. We need to prioritize students.
And our last public comment is Tasmi Johnson. Tashi?
Good evening. It's my first time doing public comment, so it's got to be a special night. My name is Tashi Johnson. I've been an active advocacy for our SPED students for the last decade. I was a SPED parent before I was an advocate. The first child that I have ever had to advocate for was my daughter, who has a dual diagnosis of autism, ADHD, and ID. Our experience with our public schools can be best described as dehumanizing, depressing, debilitating, and traumatic. Lack of adequate resourcing between what our teachers knew our kids needed versus what they knew the district would pay for. I cannot say too much, but I can say that my daughter now attends a non-public school in Livermore and has recently met her second grade IEP goals that were set forth many years ago. She's 12 years old now. At one of our public schools, she is reading, she is learning, she is thriving, and she is excelling at everything that our SPED program didn't have confidence that she could do. Unhappiness and inequities amongst our teachers and students is a degenerative cycle that attacks everyone in its path. Can you imagine how many parents don't have the wherewithal to walk this road and access education? It shouldn't have to be survival of the fittest. I'm asking for our SPED program to be reevaluated for efficacy and for our district to pay these people their worth. Our kids need in-person SLPs, ABAs, psychologists. They need in-person interaction, which is why we continue to walk through the fire of being a parent advocate. This is not to say telehealth is not needed at all. Last school year, my son's teacher suffered from several awful vertigo spells. We had to pitch in and purchase her an adequate air conditioner. Not only was this the right thing to do, but each day would have been uncertain without her, as subs are hard to come by. Happy teachers make happy classrooms, and I thoroughly believe that, and I've seen it with my daughter now.
That concludes public comment.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who made public comment this evening. Superintendent Cotton, can the board get an update on peacemakers? And can somebody please look into the glove situation for ESN classrooms?
Yes, we will look into both of those. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, we're moving now to B8, Agenda Review and Adoption. Does the board have anything on the agenda that they want to move, adjust? Seeing none, we'll proceed as the agenda is printed. Moving now to C, Business Items Consent. Is there anything that the board wishes to pull from consent? Seeing none, we will accept C consent as presented. Moving now to D, Superintendent Communication. Superintendent Cotton, all you.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. Next slide. Thank you. I want to begin with the labor negotiations update. I attended fact finding for the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. And first I want to tell you why I was there. As a superintendent, I wanted to hear all voices, all concerns, and all recommendations for how we move forward toward more collaboration and better problem solving for our students. I heard loud and clear in the fact-finding hearings from both Teamsters and UTR labor partners. When I came back to West Contra Costa 4 months ago, to a place that I know and I love, I knew hard work would be necessary. And I also believe that it can be done. Let me be clear. The district office must support our school sites, our education professionals, and our classified support employees. Some solutions will not be easy, and I'm asking all of us to work collaboratively. I am deeply committed to evaluating issues from all perspectives and ensuring voices closest to those issues are heard with respect. A healthy district has systems to address site needs long before the negotiating table. I'm committed to genuine discussions that bring together the right people, including our labor partners, to address issues in real time. And we do that on a weekly and monthly basis. We have those conversations. I'm hoping to bring back our solutions team. That's one of those ways that we can have those conversations. And I'm inviting all of our labor partners to come together to help me in restarting that committee. There is urgency to begin this work together. I hear your concerns about special education, recruiting, retaining, and investing in growing our own talent and operational issues. I get it, I hear it. And while many urban districts face similar challenges, we have to get creative to solve these. These are systemic problems requiring collective solutions, and again, I'm committed to accelerating effort in that area. Some of the action items that we're already taking right now or will take in the near future include short and long-term recruitment, requiring us to address salaries for our newest teachers so that we're competitive and attractive. We're working on this with our fact-finding team this week. We're looking at investing in pathway programs, so our members of our classified team who want to teach have an option to earn their teaching credential, board approved. And actually tonight, the board will be approving an MOU with Reach University, one of those universities that help connect and provide both access to a BA as well as access to a teaching credential and induction programs. I also have met recently with leaders from Contra Costa College to discuss and develop other educational pathways. Other ways that I can support or that we have been working towards supporting is increasing support for our newest teachers so that they have the scaffolding, the mentoring, and the access to resources that will help them succeed. In addition, really focusing in on a TK. We've expanded TK in this district, and we want to continue to support our youngest learners. We're also reviewing our contracts with service providers. We know that we've got to pare things down. We know that we need to tighten things up we need to tighten things up with our contracting, with our staffing. We need to revisit our staffing matrix and make sure that we're following what we've committed to do through our bargaining unit agreements and make sure that we're staying on track with that. It's easy to say, yes, there's a need here, we'll help you. But it's also a challenge to sustain something that does not fit within our budget. We're also continuing to build our internal capacity. I've asked our team to help develop training and professional development to recruit for these positions within West Contra Costa. Again, the focus on growing our own. We can't address these issues overnight, but we can commit to sharing goals that will get us to a resolution, but also get us to collaborative work in the future. We must be responsible with resource allocation to avoid losing our ability to make these decisions ourselves. A balanced budget benefits us all, a responsibility I can't ignore, and I know that you don't want me to. Together as a strong community with shared beliefs, I believe in our ability to problem solve and be a united force. As a former teacher and a former principal, I know those closest to students are closest to the truth of what's working and what demands our attention. We support that, we are listening, and we will continue to work together. Next slide, please. I do want to start us off also with some recognitions. We are in the midst of American Education Week, and also November 20th, not tomorrow, is National Parent Involvement Day. So let's definitely, when you're out and about tomorrow, hug a parent who's there at school supporting students. But we thank you for all of the work that our parents do every day in support of our students. Next slide. I also want to lift up the BTPDP grant and make sure that we are lifting this information up to our community. There are ways to become, to gain your bilingual authorization, and we want to encourage our educators and those who are interested in becoming an educator to consider this pathway again to become bilingual, to obtain your bilingual authorization. Next slide. And now to spotlight our students. Next slide. All Student Congress. And I think we acknowledged our last, you guys see yourselves, you see our student trustees up there. We celebrated them last meeting. They had just come back. They had a full day in Sacramento at the California Association of Student Councils conference. But we just want to lift up and acknowledge all of our students who were there. They had a chance to meet our state superintendent, engage in workshops and leadership development. It's exciting work, and we're so excited and proud of all of our students, particularly our students who are taking on leadership roles. Next slide.
The people united will never be divided.
We enjoyed earlier this week. Oh goodness, you guys, the days have run together. I think that was last Friday. Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day, acknowledging the work of 6-year-old Ruby Bridges, who bravely worked to help to desegregate a school at 6 years old, a 6-year-old. Our students want to emulate that resilience, emulate that courage, and emulate that commitment to inclusion and care for each other. And so these are two examples, but it happened all across our district. And we're so proud of our students for engaging in that work. Next slide. Lincoln held their STEAM night on November 13th, where families, students, and their parents were able to come in and engage in different STEAM activities. They were also connected with the California American Chemical Society, and they also had to have a great time with Chevron's slime making station. Ooh. Thank you to all who were there to support, engaging with our Fab Lab as well. Next slide. And Washington also hosted their STEAM night, as you can see by the amazing photos here. Next slide. Hercules High School is on a roll right now. Their varsity dance team placed 5th overall in the Prelude Dance Competition. The marching band won Outstanding Music Band in the 2025 El Sobrani Stroll. And the Hercules High Robotics team earned 2nd place in the Pi Reboot competition. Excellent work, Hercules High School students. Next slide. We also hosted, our special education department and Care Parent Network hosted an IEP and resource clinic at Chavez Elementary School. Our special education parent liaison and resource parents provided an individual IEP support, and United Latino Voices provided assistance to families signing up for community services. The morning also included a resource fair and community agencies. So thanks to the Care Parent Network and Chavez Elementary School for supporting this fun and educational event. Next slide. And finally, Cameron School has hosted their canned food drive, or they're in the midst of hosting their canned food drive. Donations can be dropped off. They will be collecting items through November 20th. So any forms of generosity is appreciated. Thank you. Next slide. Since we last met, congratulations. Actually, I think it's happening today. Our Chief Technology Officer, Lori Wong Roberts, is completing her CTO mentor program in Sacramento, which is why she's not with us today, but we want to just say congratulations to her. It was a long, bless you, yes, a hand clap I think is appropriate. Thank you. Good job for Lori. Next slide. This was very interesting, and I just want to share this. We talked about the recruitment piece. We have a district recruiter, Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott actually visited, and he has been visiting multiple sites, but he was recently at King Elementary School working with about 30 parents who were interested in learning how to become an employee of the district. So if they're interested in becoming a paraprofessional, a teacher, or working in any of the trades. I mean, we are trying lots of different things. Again, our focus is on growing your own. And we just want to lift up great work that's happening within human resources. Very proud of the work that we're doing to encourage our community members to join the West Contra Costa family. Next slide. I'm not going to go through all these, but it's been lots of community connections since we last met. Had a chance to meet both with our City of Richmond staff, but then also was able to join their city council meeting last night, which was great as we were able to secure a waiver and our MOU commitment to have our Stige families be able to use the Booker T. Anderson Community Center for after-school program and parents meetings. We also have met with the City of San Pablo. We've had our bi-monthly meeting with our school and neighborhood action team, which is led by Healthy Contra Costa. We had our African American Student Success Network onboarding, and then our November meeting. This is a statewide network of districts who are focused on figuring out ways to best support our African American students. I had a chance to, which was really fun, had a chance to meet with some of the deans of education programs for our UC system. They wanted to talk more about how they can be better partners to LEAs and to CDE, and it was really, really good conversation there. I had a chance to introduce myself to BWAPA, the Contra Costa County chapter of Black Women Organized for Political Action. They asked some great questions about our school district. And then also had a chance 2 nights ago to present to the Bayside PTA Council. So it's been busy, busy. Next slide. Internally, we have hosted our DLCAP. Great job to Catherine Acosta-Bapraskis and Summer Sigler for your work with moving our DLCAP and some of our other groups forward. Our governance committee, our board citizens oversight committee. We had our joint meeting at Lake Elementary School last week. We also had so much fun, a Eureka Math walkthrough at Stewart Elementary School, and then also I was able to sit in on their community of practice of professional development at Highland recently. Our ASAT team, I can't get to everything. I wasn't able to get there last night, but our ASAT team met, as well as a fantastic conversation at Helms, really focusing on our fiscal stabilization planning meeting, really getting from goals to actions. So powerful work, excellent conversations. Next slide, please. And so what's coming up? Next slide. Fall break is coming up. Thanksgiving is coming. Just a reminder that we will be out of school all of next week, from Monday, November 24th through Friday, November 28th. We will see everyone. The district office will be closed on Thursday, November 27th and Friday, November 28th. We look forward to seeing everyone back in school on Monday, December 1st. Next slide. Also, please mark your calendars. I had a chance, I think I mentioned earlier, to meet with our president of the Contra Costa College. They are hosting on November 21st, this Friday, an African American male symposium at Contra Costa College from 10 to 2. I strongly encourage folks, if you're able to take a look and learn more about developing that college-going mindset. But definitely consider attending the African American Male Symposium. I believe that we do have some of our students who are planning to attend. Next slide. Also want to lift up and remind folks that in addition to Pinole Valley High School, who will be their band night performing at the Warriors game, we also have Hercules High School, who will be they're participating in the school choir night at the Warriors game as well. If you're interested, please make sure you get a ticket. Next slide. Again, All Student Congress is coming up. You guys are meeting tomorrow, correct? It's very exciting that our student trustees help to lead this group and lead this work. So it's true leadership development. They will be together all day tomorrow for a student voice and agency leadership workshop. And so those students will be learning how to, learning more about the district's goals of being a community schools, of how to facilitate, how to advocate, and also effective communication skills. Next slide. And finally, looking at the budget and finance meetings, I do want to lift up that our district budget engagement committee will be meeting again on December 10th. And the focus of the conversation will be around the first interim reporting. And then our fiscal stabilization planning meeting, we have another meeting tomorrow evening from 6:30 to 8 at El Cerrito High School. We encourage folks to come out and participate. Next slide. And for your awareness, next slide. Please don't forget your emergency cards. Sign up for Parent Square. Power School information, updating making sure your information is updated. I just want to continue to lift up every time we get together that we do have our anti-racism policy and our anti-slur policy. We heard a lot this evening about an organization that is helping to address some of those issues. And so we will, as you requested, we will take a look more deeply at that. But we also have our cell phone policy, our immigration policy, and resources available for our families. We have our visitors sign-in policy. Please take care of your Chromebooks. And don't forget that we have a new facilities permit process. Next slide. We also have and want to lift up the food assistance opportunities and resources that are available for families around food pantries that are available, as well as soup kitchens and senior food programs that are available throughout our district. Next slide. Don't forget to enroll your preschoolers, age 3 to age 5, little learners, big futures. Definitely consider enrolling in a West Contra Costa preschool today, or maybe tomorrow. We're closed at this point. Next slide. And there are many ways to get involved. As you can see, this information will be posted on our website, so you can access this if you're interested in getting involved in any of our district committees and councils. We also had our slide. Can you help me with that, Rachel? Our IDEA 50-year slide. No, you just passed it. Right there, right there. I do want to lift up and just let the group know that we are celebrating IDEA. And actually, I'm going to ask soon to be Dr. Fleischman, can you give us just an intro into IDEA before we play this video?
Certainly. Thank you, Superintendent. Thank you. Good evening, Board. As what we now know as IDEA came into law on November 29th, 1975. It was the first time in American history that children with disabilities fundamentally and universally had a right to attend public schools. This is, for me, very personal. I have an uncle who, and I was talking to, I think, Board President, we had this conversation the other day. I had an uncle who was born before this law came into action, who was deaf and was not allowed to go to public school. And had a very tragic outcomes as a result of that. So for our family, this is very personal. From that moment till today, all children, regardless of disability, have had an opportunity to attend public school, and we continue to try to strive for improving and growing and learning and following research and following data and building our systems out. Not just here in West Contra Costa, but across the country, particularly in these times, to make sure that we protect the rights of every student with a disability, and keeping in mind that students with disabilities are general education students first, and that they are all of our students, just like any other student in our school district.
Thank you. Ms. Forrest, are we able to?
Sorry, I talked about the law. I didn't talk about the video that we're about to see. And I think
I saw familiar faces in that video. That was beautiful. But if we're able to play, here we go. And is there sound? Okay. As we're working on getting the video up, we're going to go ahead and continue on with the meeting. If you can let me know, Ms. Forrest, when it's ready to view. But we'll go ahead and move forward. But it is a very cool video and it has a lot of our students and our families. It's really exciting.
Great, sure. As soon as it's ready, we can just stop and we can go back to it, no problem. Okay, so thank you very much. Any questions for the superintendent on the report? Okay, then we'll move to action items. We'll move to our first
Wonderful.
action item, which is E1, student discipline. Oh, we're ready?
I think I may be able to do it right now. 1 second. Come back to me. I'm sorry.
No problem, just let us know. Okay, we're going to move now to E1, which is our first action item, student discipline. We have an expulsion case number 252603. And so with these, we don't do any discussion, we just move the item.
President Reckler, I move that we approve the expulsion case number 252603.
Great, so it's moved by Gonzalez Hoy.
Second that.
Okay, and it's seconded by Clerk Inyana. We don't normally do any discussion. We'll start with our student trustees. Student trustee Miles.
Yes.
Student trustee Hung.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Clerk Inyana.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Hoy.
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Motion carries unanimously with trustee Smith Folds absent. Moving now to action item E2, board policy 5145.3, non-discrimination harassment.
Good evening, Board. I'm going to have Mr. Espinoza present this item.
Good evening, board members and Ms. Cotton. I am Jose Espinoza, the Title IX Director for the Office of Educational Equity. Our department is requesting to update the language within Board Policy 5145.3, non-discrimination and harassment, to align with current laws and regulations. As part of the 2025-2026 California Department of Education Federal Programs Monitoring Audit, our office has updated the policy to reflect the updated contact information for Section 504. We have added the suggested definitions for harassment and discrimination for further alignment with legal requirements. We have also recommended that a previously proposed paragraph addressing racialized harm be removed to prevent implementation difficulties, as it may not meet the legal definition of discrimination or harassment, and instead refer to the language within Board Policy 0415.3 anti-racism, as this language is within this board policy.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions? I feel like we've talked about this to depth, so it's really for you all. Any questions from any of you? Okay, great. Is there any public comment on the item?
We have no public comment.
Okay, we'll move to a motion. I feel like I want to move it since I so I'll go ahead and move Board Policy 5145.3, non-discrimination harassment, with a follow-up that we revisit the anti-racism policy and look at incorporating that language into the stricken language back into the anti-racism policy. Does anybody want a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so it's moved by Reckler, second by Clerk Inyana. Okay, so we did all of that. Okay, we'll go, any further comments? Okay, we'll go to the vote. Student trustee Miles,
Yes.
student trustee Hahn,
Yes.
trustee Hernandez,
Yes.
Clerk Inyana,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Hoy,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Motion passes unanimously with one absence, trustee Smith Folds being absent. Thank you. Moving now to F, discussion items. The first one is Board Policy 1330, use of school facilities. I see Superintendent Cotton, you're gonna take that one? I could take it.
I think we're ready. Here we go.
Okay, so we're going back to the video and we're gonna hold on our discussion item for the moment.
And we'll go ahead and pass it back to you, and we'll come back in a minute. It better be like, no, it's good. It's good.
Oh, wait. Are we gonna get it? No, okay.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go to F1, Board Policy 1330. I see Superintendent Cotton, I see your name on that to discuss. I can certainly discuss it if you want me to.
The item?
Yeah, it's 1330, use of school facilities. So I'm happy to introduce it. This really wasn't in our plan as far as board policies to review, but we found a small loophole that we'd like to close up immediately, which is to make sure that our properties are used for our purposes and not for anybody else's, including ICE, or we don't really know. So we have some language in here just to sew that up quickly. And you will again see this policy because it does need other significant revisions, but we just want to patch this over quickly. So we've brought it to the board tonight just to take a look and see if there's any questions from the board. So on 1330, does anybody have any questions? Is there public comment on the item?
We have no public comment.
Okay. And are there any further comments? It's just a discussion item for this evening. Okay, seeing none, we can move to Board Policy 0410, non-discrimination in district programs and activities, first read. And this one, I see Mr. Fleischman. Oh, and he's not here. Okay, oh, here he comes.
Thank you, President. Apologies. We are bringing forth Board Policy 0410, non-discrimination in district programs and activities for a first read. The updates from previous policy.
Yeah, of course. You want to talk? Okay. Sorry, no worries.
So there's just some updates in language in protections regarding childbirth, reproductive health, ancestry, military status. Then there's added language around Title IX and providing information on an annual basis for parents of students, parents' rights to education for their students regardless of immigration status. So there's added language about making sure that there's annual notice to parents so they know that they have a right to education regardless of that. So just essentially added protections that weren't in the previous policy that are relevant today.
Thank you very much. Do any board members have questions on this policy and the changes? Is there any public comment on the item?
We have no public comment.
And are there any further comments from board members on 0410? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to the next item, which I know trustee Gonzalez Hoy is quite passionate about. So trustee Gonzalez Hoy will take us through board policy 4033, lactation accommodation.
Thank you. And Dr. Greenwood, if it's okay, let's just partner up. Whatever I miss, please add after, which I'm sure will be quite a bit. So, well, first I want to thank Superintendent Cotton, Dr. Greenwood, and staff because I brought up the issue that we did not have a lactation policy, and then we brought it to governance. And thank you, President Reckler, also for being supportive of this. It's weird that the one male on the board is the one talking about this, but it is an issue that I have noticed over the years is obviously incredibly important. Just to give it a little context, in the state of California, you are not given time, paid time to express milk after you've had a child. Now, in our district, I just want to clarify, current administration, which is all the folks here, don't penalize employees when they need to lactate milk. But I felt like it was really necessary for us to set the standard for districts around California. Majority of districts don't have lactation policies. I believe it's a women's right, a human right, to make it clear what the expectation should be in case there was changes of administration, right, in the future, or change of mindsets, right, and culture. So Dr. Greenwood and staff worked really hard for a few weeks researching what you see in front of you, which is not just a set of expectations when an employee needs the space to lactate and the time, but also that we're not going to penalize them for needing that break, and that it can be outside of the regular break time. And I think that one of the things when I felt like here was really necessary is because we have observed, Dr. Greenwood and I, inconsistencies at times when administrators are the ones that are having to put in place the expectations, right? Including how to accommodate a new mom that needs it. And we have had conversations with employees who have chosen not to return to work and be in the place that they love to be because of this one issue alone, which some have a stigma, right, around being embarrassed or you know, not being provided with the right benefits. So all that to say, I'm just really thankful that we're bringing this forward. I personally have observed my wife gone through this twice with two different administrators, and I have seen, first of all, not just Dr. Greenwood under you, the difference. So I want to thank you for that because I think my wife has had two different experiences just in our district. Not to put her on the spot, but she has been obviously a big catalyst for it as well. So that's about it. I did want to point out the 7 criteria or 8 criteria in which Dr. Greenwood is going to train administrators on what they need to do in order to provide safe environments for any staff who needs to lactate after having a child. Dr. Greenwood, anything you'd like to add?
No, I just want to reiterate that we just want to really seriously provide a safe environment for women to expel milk. And so that they know that they can come to HR or to their administrator once they're trained to be able to go through this process appropriately.
Thank you. And back to you, President.
Thank you very much. Does anybody on the board have questions on the policy? Is there any public comment?
There's no public comment.
Go right ahead.
Do we have something in place for our young females who are breastfeeding or who have just had a baby? Do they have space in schools to pump?
That would be at the site administrator, so that would be part of this training as well.
Thank you, I'm complete.
Okay, yeah, you can, we can move to comments if there aren't, if there aren't any more questions.
Well, I don't have a question. I just have a comment. I want to thank the Trustee Gonzalez Hoy for bringing this up as the only male, I think, on the board. I think this is something that will, in reality, level the playing field. I think we've had conversations about how hard it is to be a, mom and come and try to get back into job mode and work mode and having just one more thing, for us to think about is really difficult. So I think anything that we could do when it comes to accommodating and leveling the playing field for us women who have to come out and do something that predominantly isn't thought about by males. I just want to thank you for bringing this to the board and, being a little bit thoughtful around it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We definitely talked about that a ton in the governance meetings, that this is basically another full-time job that you get to do in addition to having a baby and having a job and then having to express milk and feed another human being. So that was very important. And I think that we can get and keep more women in the workforce if we have a good policy and it's well executed. Which brings me to one comment I'd like to make, which I guess kind of got glossed over. I didn't catch it before. But it says that the policy must be included in employee handbooks and shared with new hires and individuals requesting parental leave. Yes, but it's also the procedures. So it's not just the policy, but it's you're back. This is how we work this thing. This is what you're entitled to. So it's more than just the policy. It's the how-to of how an employee goes about with those accommodations more in depth. That's the only comment I have that I think we might need a little clarification on. And anything else from anyone? Okay, good. Good feedback on that. And moving now to 4131 staff development first read. And that one is Mr. Fleischman.
Thank you, Board President. This staff development board policy has some updated language as well regarding staff development around teachers supporting student well-being, social emotional development and learning, positive behavior interventions and supports, strategies and professional development around civility, mental and physical health, and trauma-informed practices. Otherwise, it is very similar to the previous policy, just with those added pieces of language.
Great, thank you very much. Are there any questions from the board on the item? Is there any public comment?
There's no public comment.
And are there any further comments from the board on the item? Seeing none, we'll move to 614. We'll move to number 5, 614.7 physical education and activity first read.
Yes, good evening, President Reckler, Clerk Enyana, Trustee, Superintendent Cotton, and Community. Board Policy 6142.7 Physical Education and Activity is before you tonight for a first reading. The Governance Committee, the Superintendent, Cabinet, and our appropriate staff have reviewed the policy. As a reminder, in 2023, the board approved JROTC and marching band as eligible to receive physical education credit. And tonight's update adds cheerleading, dance, and drill team to that list so that we can take advantage of the flexibility provided within the education code. And tonight we're open for questions and edits that you'd like us to consider before we bring it back for a second reading.
Great, thank you so much. Does anybody from the board have any questions on the item? Is there any public comment on the item?
We have no public comment.
Are there any further comments from the board on the item? So this was brought forth by a community member, so I'd just like to thank the community member, and I'm all for expanding what we can offer, and I think this is great, and I'm really glad that you guys took it seriously and worked on it. I think it's terrific, so I'm very happy to see it. I'm very happy to see it brought back. Yes, that too. Okay, so if we don't have anything more on that, we will move now to F6. Early college credit to ensure college and career readiness. Oh, we have the video.
And just to say that these were images of our current and former students in West Contra Costa. That was beautiful. So thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Fleischman, for sharing this with us.
Definitely, and thank you for the opportunity to share it. And I want to give a huge, big, gigantic, can't make it big enough shout out to Janine Bishop, who is our parent liaison, who put that video together. We talk a lot about relationships. She has connections to those parents still, and that's why she was able to get those pictures, because she still communicates and advocates and has relationships with those folks. So big thank you to Janine Bishop.
Thank you, worth the wait. Thank you, Ms. Bishop. And I recognize Christian. I saw Sonia's play. So that was great. Okay, moving now to, I'm sorry. Okay, we had trustee Smith Folt's daughter in there too. Okay. Moving now to F6, early college credit to ensure college and career readiness.
Is it plugged in? Good evening, Superintendent Cotton and Board. I'm really happy to be here with you this evening to share a story of progress and more work to come. The College and Career team is at the CTE conference, and so I am the lone presenter, but I do want to acknowledge that they are an incredibly dedicated team who puts countless hours into this effort. Next slide, please. So I just want to situate college and career readiness into our LCAP. It falls under Goal 3, relentless attention to achievement, and our desire to empower each student to graduate with the essential skills to be college and career ready in a multilingual and tech-driven world. And we have set our sights on a 3% annual increase. And if you look at the purple metric on the slide, you will see that we are on track to meet our goal, and we've made a 3% increase. And we actually have moved to green on the recently released California State dashboard. And we are really excited about this progress. Next slide, please. So one of the things that we want to make sure people understand every time we have an opportunity is how the state actually designates students as college and career ready. And so there are 8 different ways students can be designated by the state as college and career ready, where a few years ago it was just about A through G. This is an expanded definition, which provides a lot more opportunity for our students. And so I have put green arrows on the slide at where our college and career team has really focused their efforts. There has been a huge focus on increasing access to dual enrollment programs. This is one of the standalone indicators, meaning that our students can actually gain college and career readiness through just this indicator alone. And then we also, in indicator 8, have looked a lot at how we support the recruitment of diverse students into AP classes. Next slide, please. This is a little tidbit of research. 80% of students who participate in dual enrollment programs have gone on to enroll in colleges versus 66% of our total population. There's similar data that shows when students are exposed to early college credit, they persist through college at a higher rate. Next slide, please. Okay, there's a lot of little words on this slide. What we want to do is think about that historically. AP has been what we talk about, access to advanced placement coursework. And there's pros and there's cons to advanced placement. It's a rigorous course of study. Students get a GPA boost. It is great on their transcript for college. There's also some cons. You don't get college credit because you took AP. You get college credit when you pass a standardized test that costs money. And so even though we do a lot to support students with fee waivers and access, this is a barrier. Concurrent enrollment is also a longstanding practice. It's great. Our Contra Costa College has been a wonderful partner, and students can take classes outside of the school day and in the summer. But we do know that to concurrently enroll, you have to have the time outside of the school day, and you have to have the transportation. And so where we have focused our effort is in expanding dual enrollment and articulation agreements. Dual enrollment is where our college professors are teaching courses on our high school campuses during the school day, and students have access. And actually, in a few instances, our high school teachers have been certified as college instructors. This is amazing. Our students get the grade boost, just like they would for an advanced placement course. They have access during the school day to a rigorous curriculum. And should they pass, they earn college credit, and they do pass at high rates. There is a con. We share the ADA, so that is something to consider. And then there's articulation agreements. Articulation agreements work a lot like dual enrollment, but students earn the college credit at the end of the course. They decide, I'm going to pass this assessment and it's going to audit me to get college credit. So a little bit of back end work for our team to work on the course codes and make sure students are aligned accurately. They still have to pass an exam, but it's a teacher created exam. This isn't an external for pay test. Next slide, please. So we really believe that if our students have access to rigorous coursework and credit during the school day, then we will see an increase in the number of students designated college and career ready. And there's two strategies that we focused on. One is working with our counselors to ensure that they intentionally meet with all African American students and language learners to ensure that they understand both the A through G requirements and the opportunities available to them. And this actually was a parent recommendation going into last school year from the DLCAP. And so the parents who gave that recommendation are really part of this success. Our second strategy has been to deepen the partnership with Contra Costa College to increase student access to dual enrolled and articulated courses during the school day. Next slide, please. So you can see our enrollment growth in dual enrollment and articulated classes has been huge over the last few school years, including over 1,000 students enrolled this year, which is very exciting. Next slide, please. If you look at the enrollment by program and by demographic, you can see some notable patterns. We want to celebrate that we have largely closed the gap of enrollment, the enrollment of our African American students has become proportional to the number of African American students in the district, which is a huge win. But we also note that we have an equal number of students, of African American students enrolled in AP or dual enrolled or articulated classes, where we have a much larger group of our language learners who are accessing the dual enrolled and articulated classes. And so we want to note that that access and accessibility piece is really important. Next slide, please. So this is by student group. And you can see that our dual enrolled and articulated students in our special education programs and our language learners are accessing these dual enrolled and articulated classes. Next slide, please. So we want to highlight a really exciting opportunity from this year. At Kennedy High School, they started a math class that has two functions. They took students who failed Algebra 1 and they're putting them in college algebra to remediate the Algebra 1 they failed as freshmen. And next semester, it will be Algebra 2. So the students who successfully complete this course will have made up a course they failed and be on track to be college ready by completing Algebra 2. And they will be earning 6 college credits and 20 high school credits from this course. There is embedded tutoring, so the photo that you see is students actually participating in that embedded tutoring. We're looking for more opportunities like this where we can help students both remediate and accelerate at the same time. Next slide, please. Another highlight is Richmond High School's Early Childhood Development class. And as Superintendent Cotton has spoken at length about how we are growing our own, this high school program is definitely an amazing program that is taught by a graduate of Richmond High School, working with students at Richmond High School in partnership with Contra Costa College. And what you see in the photo is these students are actually learning how to teach phonics because they're going to Downer Elementary School to support in teaching phonics. Another fun fact, we're working with Expanded Learning to create work-based learning internships in our own expanded learning programs. And so really we are developing our own workforce and our own systems of student support while these students are getting college credit. Next slide, please. So these courses have a 90% pass rate. I want you to think back to the fact that this year we have 1,000 kids enrolled. So if we maintain our 90% pass rate, we are looking at 900 students getting early college credit. This is an incredible growth that's happening year over year. If we think about in comparison, students earning early college credit through our AP programs, last school year, 57% of students who took exams scored a 3 or higher. 3 or higher is what gives you college credit should a university accept that credit. Some universities won't accept it, and some say we have to have a 4 or higher. In that 57%, that's a duplicated number. There are students who took 5 tests. So if we think about early college credit as getting our students ahead, saving them money in college, making sure that they're college and career ready, we know that having AP classes is wonderful, but our dual enrolled and articulated classes are actually getting us there much more efficiently. Next slide, please. I just want to look at this sort of shift in how we're thinking about early college access. What you see in the graph in the blue is the number of courses per campus that offer early college credit. And so as we think about equity, this matters, but all of our schools are actually different sizes. So we also need to look at the percent, and you can see on the slide in the bullets, we have the percent of each of our schools that are actually accessing the coursework. So when we as a team plan forward and we see that 48% of El Cerrito High School is the students are in some sort of early class that could offer early college credit, and at Kennedy there's 17%, we're looking to close that percent. And so that could mean adding coursework. That also could be looking at the number of students enrolled in courses and actually making sure that those courses are full and being fully utilized by the students. And so as we look into next school year and as we move through this school year, we're looking at how we set goals around increasing the percent of student access, not just the raw number of courses. Next slide, please. We're really excited to have the opportunity to share with you this evening. We know that our dual enrolled and articulated classes ensure rigorous opportunities, an opportunity to accelerate, to remediate, and to earn college credit before our students are there. And so as we build out these classes, we just want to make sure we emphasize that we really think about the alignment to our CTE pathways, courses that align to the college's course catalog, student interest. Students don't take classes they don't want to take, right? So we always have to make sure there's both a need and an interest in aligning and building forward to help our students thrive. Thank you. I'm happy to take any questions.
Great, thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions?
I just want to say, I'm dual enrolled right now, and I really, really appreciate it, and I really, really like it, and I think it's a much better opportunity for people who don't want to be in classes, AP classes. I know my school doesn't even offer them, but I'm taking ASL 1 right now, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm taking number 2 next semester. So I just really appreciate it, and I think we should definitely push it out to kids who might be involved.
Are there any other questions?
So I had 2 questions. One, how can we make the process of dual enrollment smoother? Because when you try to enroll in DVC, that's the one that I've had experience with. It's a lot of like kind of going through the process and a lot of red tape. The kids have to make a profile at DVC. They have to sign up here. They like there's little things that I think could be smoother and encourage more students to do it. Also, after they finish the coursework, how do we make it smoother for their transcripts to come back to the school? So they won't have to have this. I've heard many students have to fight to get, they pass the class, but have to fight to make sure that that credit is now put back on their transcript at their high school that they're in. That's the first question I have. The second question is, I don't know if anybody remembers EOS, Equal Opportunity Schools. You remember when we had that in the district? Okay, we did a lot of work with Equal Opportunity Schools. There was a lot of work trying to figure out how do we make AP classes more attractive to all students? How do we make sure that they feel welcome once they're in there? What are the resources and supports that we put in place to ensure their success in the AP classes? So I think that if we go back to that EOS model and what the work that we've already done, I think that some of that, some of the partner think that you guys are doing now, the work has already been done for you. I'm complete.
Okay, I'm going to answer backwards and you'll have to correct me if I miss any. Yes, thank you for the comment about equal opportunity schools. We have the materials from when we worked with them and we continue to use those materials, particularly they have really excellent questions around surveying students when you do choice sheets and asking questions about academic mindset. So one of the things that came out 2 years ago at Richmond High, 85% of the kids said, yes, I view myself as a strong academic student. That's amazing data. And then there were questions that drilled down and would help us to say, hey, you should sign up for AP chemistry. And so we've continued to utilize those questions, and that's been really useful for us. When you talk about DVC, that's the concurrent enrollment outside the school day. And so I agree. We have learned through this process that community college enrollment is not any simpler than Harvard. And so what we, and then the transcript piece, the counselors can put it on the transcript, but we as a district don't accept more than 80 credits a year or 40 per semester. So what often happens is very high achieving students, because they know those courses come in and give them a grade boost, they say, put another one. And at some point, the counselors have to say, you have to make a choice. When we look at our dual enrolled and our articulated classes, the college and career team and the counselors do a huge work for the sign up. So when students are in those classes during the school day, they're seeing our team and their college and career counselor to really handhold through the process that you just described is a challenge. And we agree it can be really complicated.
Thank you for that. So the clarification is, one is the dual enrollment that happens outside the school day, like with your DVC or your CCC. And then one is where you have a teacher who has the certification or whatever is necessary to be able to teach that college class during the day. And that's not concurrent enrollment. That's the articulated.
Dual enrollment or articulated.
Thank you so much. I'm complete.
Thank you. I have some questions. So what is articulated versus dual enrollment?
It's basically that they're enrolled in a high school class. And then at the end of the course, they can certify, it's an agreement with Contra Costa College around basically the coursework, what was taught, and there's an exam they can take to get the credit. And so what it does for us as a district, it gives us more ownership up front of the course versus the college having more ownership of the course. It's more work. It's literally technically back-end work for Laurie's team and the tech team to go in and change the course code after a student has successfully completed the course. So for the student, there's no risk of them getting an F on a college transcript, because if they don't do well, they just never put in that they, as a college course, versus dual enrollment where they're in the class up front. I think for a system, if we think about it as a bucket, the benefit to the students of the credit is the same. The way it appears on the transcript is the same.
And so how do those decisions get made between articulated and would you choose between articulated and a regular high school class, or would you choose between articulated and a dual enrollment class?
Usually you're choosing between articulated and dual enrollment, and that's going to have to do with teacher qualifications, hiring ability of the college at the moment, and a number of technical pieces.
And who's making that decision? Is the college or is the
It'd
school
be a
district?
combination of the college and career team working with the college to determine the best route.
And how are you, or how is the decision made on what to offer in a dual enrollment?
So largely, we're aligning with our pathway programs. And so, for example, the Health Academy at De Anza, that senior class has been dual enrolled for 10 years. There's a phenomenal teacher who is one of our district teachers who's also hired through the college. And it's a longstanding program. As we build new programs, such as the Ed Pathway, you look for availability. And if you're looking at a Contra Costa College course catalog with their staff and our pathways, we're looking to actually build those connections explicitly. So many of these courses, what's really exciting is it's early college credit and a grade point average boost in courses that historically would not have offered that. So if a student is really motivated and they want to take AP English and AP Math and AP History and this college class, they can take all of it, or they can pick and choose. So we're building out that way. And then the secondary piece is looking for opportunities such as the opportunity at Kennedy, where it's like, hey, there's a really big need to catch these students up in math and get them college eligible. And the college is coming in saying, we have this really cool opportunity. Let's test it out.
And that was another one of my questions. What grades are these kids in? I mean, for Kennedy, were those sophomores that were?
Largely juniors in that class. We prioritize seniors, but actually at Richmond High, the Ed Pathway juniors and seniors are in dual enrolled classes.
And do all the credits transfer? You're right about the APs. Some of them don't transfer, some of them are stipulated. For dual enrollment, is it guaranteed that those transfer either to community or to four-year?
Yes, they are community college credits issued through Contra Costa College. So 10 high school credits is 3 college credits. So 1 semester of a course, a student receives 3 credits from Contra Costa College. 2 semesters, it is 6 credits. That is on, they can call the registrar. It goes on their high school transcript, but they also could call the registrar at Contra Costa College and be issued a transcript from the college.
Interesting. Let's see, what else did I want to ask? Oh, ADA. So how does that work?
So that is the sticky part. And the ADA for dual enrolled classes for that period goes to the college. That's why it's a sharing. So it shouldn't be all of the ADA, but for that period, it does go to the college. And that's actually, we've done a ton of research on that. That's actually in Ed Code.
And is that how the teacher gets compensated?
I believe so. I mean, that gets really in the weeds for me. I'd probably have to go back and do a little more research, but when they're sending us their teacher, yeah, they have to have a revenue source. That's where the articulated agreements, the ADA actually stays with us because it's a switch you make at the end to the college course code.
Okay, so that's how the teachers are getting paid. They're getting paid through the ADA. Is there an agreement? I can't remember. Is there agreement with Contra Costa College that, and additionally the ADA, or I just can't recall.
Yeah, we operate under the CCAP agreement. I would have to reread and do some digging to answer exact payment questions.
Just top level. I don't need the weeds. I don't need the blades of grass. I'm just.
If it's helpful, we can put together just a briefing to get a little bit more to share with the board, if that's helpful.
Yeah, I don't know. I just need top level. That's all. I don't need the molecules of, it's just interesting of how that works. Okay. I also wanted to echo the sentiments about registering for, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Contra Costa College, Berkeley, it is impossible to register. So I don't know what you can do about that, but I think I told my daughter, no, I'm not doing it because it was so horrible with my son. So, whatever can be done to smooth that path forward. It's miserable. Okay, so I think those are all the questions I have. Is there any public comment on the item?
We have no public comment. Oh, we have one public comment.
Oh, question, go ahead. Wait. No, okay, yeah, go right ahead.
So I do want to ask about AP testing grants that we have. So you give us the first test and then we have to pay for all the ones from there. There are lots of other organizations that provide grants and sometimes schools give us resources to those. I think those could be really helpful. I don't know if you guys know about those or could put us in contact with those because of AP testing and how expensive it gets really quick. I have a list and an order, so it's gonna be a sec. But I with the dual enrollment process and signing up for the classes, I think many times you guys have sent in a representative from Contra Costa College that provides us resources. I think that I don't know whether you're in the position, whether you're the one sending this person or not, but I think it's important to notice the timeline of this application and send them based off of the timeline because sometimes they're there and then you sign up and it gives you this 48-hour window and you need them 48 hours later, but they're not there. They're there 24 hours later. Yeah. Okay. I have a question about taking 80 credits in a year. How does that work for summer courses? I know a lot of students take courses over the summer. Does that still mean that it eats away at their courses throughout the next year, or how does that work? And then I have one more comment on the dual enrollment classes offered at my own high school. We have, I think we have African American Studies, something like that. It's not the AP one, it's a dual enrollment one. We have AP as well. And then we have African American Psychology. I think having this course virtually 3 times is not very useful because it spreads out the amount of people who take it. And there's a lot of space with these dual enrollment courses to put in a course that is, I don't know, more competitive on college applications. It's more, so maybe a way to inquire about, to reach out to students and inquire about the courses that are offered because most of the courses offered are very left field and not exactly courses that many of the students want to take, which means they end up taking it solely for the GPA boost and less out of I don't know, interest in the course. I think that's all. Yeah.
Okay, and embedded in there was a question that now I was listening to the rest of your feedback and I missed.
Okay, so I had a question about other organizations that could provide us AP testing grants. I'm curious about summer credits. If someone were to take a course over the summer,
Yes. Okay.
and how to
Yes, so 20 credits during the summer we would accept. So the cap during the school year is 80 credits. The standard high school schedule offers 60. And then during the summer school typically offers 10, and we will accept up to 20. And yes, if you have AP grant resources, please send them our way, and we welcome any feedback as we adapt and change courses. That's actually happening starting right now. Those conversations are starting on school sites. And so your timing is perfect as we look at next school year.
Wonderful, thank you.
So my question is more around the communication. How are we giving this information out to our families and our students about the different options when it comes to classes and benefits of each different class selection?
So counselors visit every single classroom, and they would do a review of student transcripts as well as the courses offered the next school year. And they do it in grade level specific classes. So if you're in 11th grade, they're going to be looking at specifically offerings for 12th graders next year. We've also implemented 4-year plans, which 95% of our 8th graders completed last year, which was incredible. So we have our students annually now tracking their progress towards graduation and college and career goals in their 4-year plans. SchoolLinks is the platform that we use for that, and parents actually can have access to it. They can track their students' 4-year plans. They also, for our seniors, can track their progress on their college applications. I think this is underutilized by parents at this point, and I think that's where we need to keep pushing to support them in being able to see that real-time progress.
Sorry to interrupt. Point of order. We have to extend. We want to ask more questions.
Okay.
I think there's a
Do we
couple
wanna
questions
extend?
over here. So I moved to we extend until 10:30. Just if I'm voting no, but I moved that we extend to 10:30.
What about 10:15?
I'll second that.
Which one? 10:30 is 10:15? 10:30? Okay.
10:30 to be safe.
Moved. All right, so it's moved by Gonzalez Way, second by Clerk Kenyana. Student trustee Miles,
No.
student trustee Hahn.
Can we can leave whenever, so why not?
I just got a hate look from trustee Hernandez. Trustee Hernandez.
Stop asking questions. Yes, but I have to say that.
Clerk Kenyana,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez Way.
It's my first no ever on extending. I just want to put that out there. I vote no.
You. Smith Folds, yes.
Yes. Right. It passed. Okay, continue.
I do have a question about advanced placement. So the question about advanced placement, I know I heard about the cost, and it is about $100 per test, right? So I guess that's not a question. That's a statement. That's a lot. So if you're taking 5 classes, you're shelling out, if the district pays for one, you're still shelling out $400. So I had a kid that took, and you can take the test and you're not in the class. So my kid happened to take tests that she was not in the class. And I was like, yo, that's $100 a pop. But it was the idea of getting that 3 or above, that it can then transfer to certain colleges, not colleges on the East Coast. Let's just be clear. It doesn't transfer to colleges on the East Coast. It just transfers for colleges in the UC or CSU kind of atmosphere. One of the questions that I had, and I forgot it, you threw me off my game. I don't know what the question was. How are we ensuring that AP classes are not being used as markers of segregation? A lot of AP classes, because the kids are getting AP classes, but they won't take the AP exam. They're just trying to get into the advanced placement classes for the GPA rock, or to be around people that they think that they have more in common with, or whatever it is. Part of the EOS was, how do we create that stop gap? How do we make sure that that's not a boundary? Are you guys thinking and talking about how do you ensure that AP classes are not seen as tools of segregation?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really important. I myself in high school was a teacher tried to counsel me out of taking an AP test that I then took and passed. And so this is where the grants that Sasha was talking about can be really powerful. There was a time where we did have a grant and every student could test for free. And as a teacher, you walked in and said, everybody in this class is taking the test. We're in it together. We are going to do this. If you don't pass, it's okay. You had a rigorous experience, but I want you to take the risk and try your best. When there's cost involved, that becomes a family decision. And I think teachers are very hesitant to push. I think there also are a lot of reservations in our system around the validity of an external test and how fair the test is, or if it's really a representation of the student's knowledge. And so I think, yes, that conversation is happening, and we're leaning deeply into doing articulation agreements and dual enrollment because we're looking at the access that our students have and the success that we're having and the credit that they're earning. And we're thinking that this is our equitable avenue.
I remember my second question. How do we track students, or do we track students once they graduate and they enter college? Do we track if they have to take remedial courses? Because that would be, if we backwards look at it, that would be a marker, or if we are doing what we need to do in their senior year or their junior year. Because I know that there are some, there is data out there that says if you go to college and you have to take remedial math your first year or remedial science your first year English, then we need to look backwards and say, are you getting the rigor that you need to be able to enter this college course? And is that part of our readiness? And before I forget, friend, because it's late, the other question that I had, I forgot to answer that one and then I'll bring it back.
I just took a note to myself. So we get National Clearinghouse data, and the standard that they set is, can you get through college in 6 years? Which is interesting that it's not even a 4-year standard. Are you persisting in 6 years? And they say basically if it takes a child longer than 6 years, they're unlikely to complete. The question that I wrote down that I'll find out is, does that data actually get as granular to the courses they took freshman year? I'm not certain. But I certainly know if I send them off with 12 credits, they're going to do better.
Yeah,
I
I have just a quick response. We do have our Cradle to Career dashboard that is in the works. The clearinghouse doesn't necessarily carry that information that we're looking for. That is a really good question, and it is research that we want to engage in. We're hoping that Cradle to Career dashboard will be able to provide that at some point.
Thank you so much for that. I did remember my next question. At some high schools, you can only start taking AP classes in 10th grade. Is that universal across our system, or is that just at particular high schools?
It depends on how it's set up, and there's an evolving mindset around AP. The historical mindset was that outside of English and history, you took precursor classes, right? So you had to take biology and then AP bio. A lot of schools are now saying, do you have to? If you're an advanced student, could you just take the AP class and go much faster? They do that in history, they do that in English. We haven't set a uniform standard around that, and that's something we could look at, because literally we are setting up for next year's master scheduling right now.
Thank you so much. I'm complete.
Anybody else?
How do you support students who are taking an AP class but not the test? Something that's happened a lot in the in the AP class that I did take last year, it turned into a test prep class, and the class sort of lost the learning aspect and more of learning how to pass the test. And It's not exactly the same thing. Many of the classes many of the AP classes do, the class, you learn the material and then you test the structure of the test. But some of the classes, they're just a test prep class. And what are we doing to make sure that we can support the people in these classes that aren't taking the test so that they feel like they're taking an advanced class and actually getting something out of it other than learning how to pass an exam that they're not going to take?
So I think that's a conundrum of AP because teachers have different philosophies about that. I think that access to rigorous coursework is important for students outside of a test. And many of our teachers are saying, if I don't prepare students to pass the test, I've done a disservice to why they signed up for this class. So I don't think I have a very good answer to that question. I think it's where AP is both a wonderful opportunity and an equity conundrum, not just in West Contra Costa, but nationwide.
Anything else? You look like you have more.
Oh, well, I just wanted to add to Smith Vold's comment about taking AP's freshman year. With the classes like language and math, if you have the prerequisites, they almost have no choice but to let you take the class because they're not going to make you take a class again. But at least at my school, they really are against you taking AP classes. You have to really fight to get into one. So, yeah.
Okay. Anything else? I've a few just closing comments, which is first, I think Kimberly Rogers at Contra Costa College is amazing. She's amazing. So we should. Yeah, she's great. So I think that she'd be really willing to work with us. And I think that, you know, the community colleges have issues with enrollment and I think there are ways to be very symbiotic and yeah, so she's great. The other thing on APs, it definitely depends on which school. It's not just East Coast schools, it's all sorts of schools that have their own criteria about whether they accept APs or not. So you know, that's just what it is. As far as AP classes, somehow they found me and they put me on their list, and there do seem to be really interesting things that they're offering. I saw something on cybersecurity, which I think kids would be really interested in. They also have some capstone, which I don't know what that is, but it sounded interesting to me. So I think I don't know how they get chosen either, but it seems like they're coming out with new things that are pretty interesting. And I think this is a really interesting idea. Also for school links, a key word in that is that parents can have access. I think they should have access I know that you're gearing all of this to the student, but I felt totally left out of the loop on what was going on, what was available, the options. So I think that tying parents closer into this is what we offer, this is, you know, some of the stuff that we have going on would be good for, you know, that triangle between teacher, school, parent to kind of bridge things together. And I think that's all the comments I have. Does anybody else have comments on the item? Okay, we'll move to G, comments from the Board of Education and future agenda items. Does anybody have anything?
Thank you. Very quickly, because I know it's late and I did not vote to extend. I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and thank all of Cabinet for your work. I'll be thinking that day, I have this practice throughout the day, think of all the people who I'm thankful for. And I'm going to be having you all in my mind, as well as the board and staff. So just wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and a restful week for everybody else and staff who deserves it. Thank you.
Anybody else? I also want to echo those sentiments. Thank you very much. I know this is very hard and a lot of times thankless work, but I am really appreciative of everything that everybody's doing. And anything else? All right, I'll close this out at 10:12 p.m. Everybody have a good break. Good night. Okay.